Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Crypto Convo, series where we cover exciting news and price action in the land of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and crypto-related stocks. You guys, Bitcoin is not looking too hot right now. I do stand by my thesis that I've held for the past couple of days that we will see more short-term downside for Bitcoin ahead, but that does not mean there aren't plays within the sector that I do think could see some upside. So we will go over what I perceive to be the bulls and the bears within the cryptocurrency market right now. Let's get into it. As always, we'll quickly go over each topic we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, TradingView, where we'll talk technicals, price action, and price targets on the following names today, in this order, going down the watch list, kicking it off, of course, with the king. Can't not kick it off with Bitcoin. So we will cover Bitcoin. Bitcoin, as we speak, has officially broken out of what I view to be a bear flag, so the evil twin of the bull flag that we love so much around here. Bitcoin sitting a lower low on the short term, again, breaking this bear flag, breaking down, and I do see more downside ahead. So we will talk about where I think we could go from here in regard to Bitcoin. And of course, this is not always the case, but most of the time, more often than not, for sure, the price action of Bitcoin will affect that of the rest of the sector. So I do want to talk about some other names. The only other actual cryptocurrency that we're going to be talking about today is going to be Ethereum. Ethereum definitely, hands down, outperforming Bitcoin. And it will be interesting to see that if capital does start to flow out of Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does see more downside, if Ether and the altcoin space starts to suck some of that up. Because a lot of times when money is invested in the crypto markets, it doesn't go liquid. It will just alternate between different altcoins. That's why the BTC alt cycles are so real in this sector. So it will be interesting to see if Bitcoin does cycle into Ether. If that happens, I do have some upside price targets I want to show you. We will still cover the bear case as well. So just giving you guys my perspectives. The markets are kind of a tough read right now. There is kind of a lot of FUD out there, or negative hype. And we will cover a few very brief pieces of news here. So CNBC, Guggenheim Scott Minerd warns Bitcoin could plunge 50% near term. Things are very frothy. Go over some key points here. Very quick here, you guys. These are more just headline reads just to kind of set the general investor sentiment. So I don't want to, nothing in here is super important in my opinion. But again, it just shows kind of general investor sentiment across the board. A lot of people are feeling a little suspicious about Bitcoin right now. And of course, we've seen so many bear traps in this market, bull traps and bear traps going both ways. Maybe this is a bear trap, but there are just a lot of things, both from a technical and fundamental perspective, kind of as I was talking about yesterday, that lead me to believe that more downside is likely ahead, okay? So again, we'll go over these quickly after we talk about BTC and ETH, again, the kings of the altcoin and cryptocurrency market as a whole. We'll dive into some of our favorite crypto-related stocks. It's been a few days since we covered these guys. So we will dive into the Bitcoin miners, the king and queen, Riot Blockchain, and Marathon Digital Holdings, or Riot and Mara, bouncing pretty nicely today. But again, if Bitcoin does continue to fall, although Riot and Mara have corrected significantly more than Bitcoin, it's important to remember that those two have significantly outperformed Bitcoin over the past year, okay? So although they did beat Bitcoin to the chase in terms of the short-term pullback, I do think there could be a little more downside ahead for these two. That said, I don't think it's very significant. There are definitely levels where I'll be very, very comfortable reestablishing large stock positions, maybe even some call positions, probably not call positions, but definitely stock positions in Riot and Mara. So again, talk to you guys about my downside price targets, let you guys know where I'm buying there. And then we will go on to cover the space plays, the OTC or over-the-counter plays that are CurrencyWorks or CWRK and ALYI or alternate systems, okay? So CWRK, again, very, very exciting, very exciting play, especially considering blockchain technology, Ether, altcoins are going to maybe see some upside if Bitcoin sees some downside. CWRK definitely falls more into the bracket of that blockchain technology altcoin space than mining plays like Riot, Mara, Hive, all the other ones do. So CWRK, very exciting to me right now. The technicals look amazing. CWRK bouncing beautifully off support right now, long-term support. So that's very promising in itself. ALYI bouncing back nicely today after its massive day of carnage yesterday. Yesterday was a terrible day for alternate systems, but kind of as I was telling the newsletter Discord fam, more krill for the whales. So again, ALYI is a play that I'm so excited about. You guys know that if you've been following along. Just the raw potential of what they're doing, the fundamentals of the company, the vision they have, the market cap of like $6 million. Like this is my 100 to 200x Mars shot play. So we have to cover this. Again, bouncing nicely, and I do see so much upside potential for ALYI over the coming weeks, months, even years. So cover ALYI, and then a little bonus thing at the end that is not crypto at all. Pretty much the opposite of crypto, but silver is looking bullish short term. So I will be making a video covering both silver and gold, maybe a few miners thrown in there as we get, or on Friday, I should say. So definitely silver and gold spot. Let you guys know why I'm bullish on silver and gold right now, especially because if capital does start to flow out of crypto, again, even if capital starts to flow out of the entirety of the crypto market, it's rare things go liquid, especially considering the US dollar or the DXY continues to go down in value. So capital still wants to be invested in this market. We are definitely learning that. We've known that, but it's clearer and clearer that capital just wants to continue making money. That's the game of investing. So silver is looking very bullish right now. It just saw a short-term breakout. I'll talk to you guys about short-term price targets there. And then again, on Friday, we will do some longer-term price predictions for both gold and silver. So that said, that is everything we're going to be covering. Before we do dive into it, I will, as always, ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today. Or if you are invested, if you're bullish, just let me know if you're bullish or bearish. Please give the video a like if you feel like you've gained any value from it. But let me know down in the comments as well if you're bullish or bearish on Bitcoin and the crypto markets or any of the stocks we're talking about today, because I always love hearing your guys' insight in that regard. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to catch more content like this. Again, there's always a bull market somewhere, you guys. Although we love crypto around here, even if it does pull back, there's always other exciting sectors as well. So I will stay tuned to the bull markets. Anything that I'm bullish on, we'll be making videos about it. So subscribe if you're new around here. And of course, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. First link down in the description. It's $15 a month. If you want to know exactly how I'm personally trading all of the names we're talking about today, plus all of the other names that we're not talking about, that's on trading as well, because there are a lot of exciting plays that we're not covering, but I am bullish on in the portfolio as well right now. So I'll call options, put options, stock positions, cryptocurrency positions, of course. And I do update that every single trading day during market hours, letting you guys know what I'm trading, why I'm trading. And I do send out an email newsletter explaining my thoughts, rationalizing my trades with you guys as I update that portfolio. So again, $15 a month. First link down below. Really means a lot if you check that out. But if not, no worries. And I will throw in the random. I throw this in once in a while, but the shout out to the Discord group. This is like something I'm so proud of, and this really kind of encapsulates the Waves community, the amazing, best community in the game that is the Waves family. So if you guys want to join the exclusive Discord, I do hop in there every day, talk shop with you guys, talk story, and we have been doing, we just started doing these, and we're going to continue to get better and better at them. The live chats. So on Fridays, I'm going to start doing this every Friday after the market closes, doing a live chat in there. I will try to do at least every other Sunday in there, just talking to you guys, kind of like a real-time stock watch. So doing live chats in there, those have been fun. We kind of just talk shop, rap back and forth about general topics, do a Q&A. So that is also going to be down in the description. Again, if you want to join this, that's awesome. But if not, no worries either. The comment section is also good. So all that said, housekeeping out of the way, let's dive into these charts. So Bitcoin bouncing up a little bit as we're making this video. We're seeing a lot of green on the charts, which is actually very, very nice to see. Very refreshing. But from a technical perspective, I do think that this is just a bounce. I do still feel like there's more downside ahead. If you guys have been tuned in over the past couple of days, Bitcoin, since this big dip, since this big old fall off cliff red candle, has been printing what I see to be, what appears to me to be a bear flag. So again, evil twin sibling of the bull flag. Bear flag, sharp move down followed by an ascending triangle. This is more of a symmetrical triangle, I guess, but still flagpole, the flag itself. It has broken to the downside. It has set a lower high. I'm sorry, a lower low. I mean, a lower high and a lower low, I guess. On the short term, high, low, lower high, lower low now. And it, again, it's just, it seems very, very apparent to me on top of kind of this news we're seeing right now that there's more downside ahead. So, you know, let's quickly go over just some of this right now, because I do agree with what this guy says. Go over literally just this headline, and then we'll dive into the charts. Again, this is more just to set kind of the general investor sentiment fundamental basis. Okay, so key points: Bitcoin is very frothy and could see a major correction in the near term. Guggenheim partner Scott Miner told CNBC on Wednesday. I think we could pull back to 20 to 30,000 on Bitcoin, which would be a 50% decline, he said. However, Miner said he remains bullish over the long term, predicting an eventual rise to $400,000 to $600,000. So if you guys, I'll dissect this one by one. So $20,000 to $30,000. The reason that makes sense is because a 50% correction, I'm sorry, is very, very common to see in parabolic rallies. Again, you guys, I've played so many bubbles. A lot of times when that bubble peaks in the short term, a 50% correction, especially considering we've run up so much over the past few months, is not uncommon at all. Like, it's actually very, very common, again, when you play bubbles, when you play these parabolic hype rallies like we've seen in the crypto market. So not surprising there. 20 to 30K would also come down to kind of Bitcoin's previous high at the top of the bubble in 2017. So again, previous highs a lot of the time do act as new support, new floors. So 20,000 wouldn't make sense because the fundamentals are so much ridiculously stronger for Bitcoin than they were in 2017. Again, that was a lot of retail hype. Now there's actual institutional adoption. People, big money is understanding the value proposition of Bitcoin in our evolving financial landscape. So it would really surprise me if we came down to 20K. I think 30K maybe, but I do think about 42K is my absolute low for Bitcoin. Personally, at least that's where I'm very personally will buy more Bitcoin. Okay, so again, also if you guys watched, I can't remember the video, but I do talk about how I do think $500,000 per Bitcoin is like my ultimate price target, because at that point, Bitcoin will eclipse gold's market cap. At least at this moment in time, a $500,000 Bitcoin would equate to about a $9 trillion market cap, or total market value, which is market cap. And a gold is currently floating around that area as well. Okay, so again, Bitcoin Gold 2.0, that's the video, obviously, why Bitcoin is Gold 2.0. Talk about the $500,000 price target. 400 to 600K perfectly falls in that in that space. So 500K Bitcoin over the long term would not surprise me in the least. Again, considering Bitcoin is the most absolutely scarce digital asset at that scale, $1 trillion market cap, this is a real asset. It's so valuable, and it's always been. If once you understand Bitcoin, you understand why it's so valuable. And again, that's why the fundamentals now are so much stronger and institutions want in. Okay, so that said, that is that. Again, just straight up headline reading right here. There's nothing real crucial in this article that I want to talk to you guys about. Wall Street starts to see weakness emerge in Bitcoin charts. So again, it doesn't take a master chart reader to tell you that. Volume is slowing aside from this sell volume. Again, short-term price action is not looking good. Aside from this bear flag, we have broken, again, short-term support, which is this orange line right here, setting a lower low on the short term. Again, just playing so many bubbles in the past, you guys. When we see a significant drop like this, like a big old red candle of doom like this, again, you see that dead cat bounce, you go sideways for a little bit, but it's almost always followed by another dip down. So I do think we will see another kind of dip rip down. Let's get rid of this as we zoom out. And again, if you guys have been tuning in, you know this is my price target. So many traders are eyeballing this line of support. So let's zoom out here, talk about this line of support. Again, very strong line of support. Every trader who's trading Bitcoin is looking at this. I think everyone is pretty much in agreement that we will probably come down to here. If you have read charts, if you're somewhat of a competent chart reader, you're definitely eyeballing this price target around $47,000. So short-term price target for Bitcoin is going to be 47K. If we do break that, it would not surprise me at all. That's why I just said 42K. It would not surprise me at all to come down to 42K. So if we break like 46.5, just to play it conservatively, if we break below 46.5 in Bitcoin, I would definitely expect us to come down to $42,000. Again, just like we were talking about earlier, TA 101, when you see a parabolic rally like this, when you see a crazy hype rally like we've seen in Bitcoin and many other players in the sector, it's very, very common for the initial high of the current rally to act as the floor, go sideways for a little bit prior to resuming that rally up. Okay, so maybe we come down to 42K. Worst case scenario is going to be, because this is actually technically the initial high of this rally, is going to be about $23,000 or $24,000. So $24,000 is the absolute low price target that I can imagine. 42K is personally where I'm comfortable accumulating more Bitcoin. But if we come down to 24K, I'm pretty much going all in on all the stocks we're talking about today. Okay, so you know what? In a sense, let's hope we see that. Great opportunity for accumulation. Corrections are opportunities, especially in bull markets, especially with an asset as fundamentally strong as Bitcoin. So keep an eye on that. Let's move on to Ether, and then we'll straight up technicals from here on out. Okay, so Ether looking strong again. Like Ether definitely outperforming Bitcoin, recovering much faster. And again, I think a lot of people are understanding the value prop of Ether as well. I did make a video where I covered Bitcoin. I consider Bitcoin being like digital gold. Because obviously it's absolutely scarce. That's Bitcoin's value prop. Ether is like digital oil. The second layer, the new financial system 2.0, with all the DeFi and lending that's going on in the crypto markets on the Ether blockchain, is massive. And Ether, you need Ethereum to run everything that's built in DeFi, everything that's built on the Ethereum blockchain. You need Ether. So it's like oil, it's the gas, it's the energy, it's the mitochondria. Okay, so Ether looking good technically. We are still, Ether does look good right now. It is printing higher highs and higher lows on the short term as opposed to Bitcoin. we are still below this recent high unless we clear like 25.5. So if we can clear 26 conservatively, then I do think that we're on our way to test the top side of resistance on the overall ascending channel. That would take us to, say we hit it May 16th, just May 19th, what to make it? B-Day, May 19th, shout out to B-Day. May 18th, I guess. If we hit it May 18th, that would take us to just about $4,000. So, again, you guys, all these price targets are going to be completely dependent on when the lines of resistance or support are hit, are struck. So just again, where I happen to draw this price target, May 18th, that would take us to just under $4,000 Ether. If we do pull back, if we are setting a lower high just prior to, again, correcting to the ultimate line of support on the overall uptrend, which in that case, the downside really isn't that limited still, would take us to about 19.5. Okay, so $1,950 at the end of the month is my downside price target if Ether does pull back. But again, if we do break like 2,600, then I think we're off to the races. I think we could be moving. I think we're definitely on our way towards like 3,500 plus if we can break 2,600. So very, very exciting potential there. Again, we will have to see if the entire crypto market still sees a correction, or if Bitcoin sees a correction and some of that capital flows from Bitcoin into Ether, or like Dogecoin into Ether, all that good stuff, because Ether is the most common pair. So Ether, if any crypto is going to be a winner in a correction, it, in my opinion, is probably going to be Ether. Okay, so those are the cryptos. Let's move on to our favorite crypto related stocks, Bitcoin miners that unfortunately have been getting pretty beat up. Again, bouncing nicely today. That's not surprising considering they fell off an absolute cliff over the past week or so. RIOT blockchain's still looking, that was weird. RIOT blockchain's still looking a little rough. Still has the potential, I guess, to play out this kind of bull flag. So massive bull flag, again, parabolic move up followed by, this is a very, very massive descending triangle right here. So maybe we do play this out as a bull flag. It would extend out a little further, but I do think that at the very least, RIOT will still come down to test the overall line of support on this uptrend, beginning here, touch point here on the overall uptrend. Again, RIOT already has pulled back significantly, but if Bitcoin does continue to pull back, it would only make sense that Bitcoin miners who are paid in Bitcoin continue to pull back as well. Ultimate price target on the downside for RIOT, which is where I'm personally very comfortable establishing, I should say reestablishing, like my initial, like pretty sizable, for me at least, RIOT common share position is going to be around $27.50. So call it conservatively 28, 29 bucks, even around 30 bucks. I'm definitely a buyer of RIOT blockchain. But again, on that same note, just testing the initial high of the current rally and using that high as a new floor, go sideways for a little bit, regain that steam, and then start our rocket ride back up. Ride the rocket is not done. We're refueling a little bit, and again, refueling takes time. We'll be back in orbit soon. So that is RIOT. Let's move on to Marathon Digital. Mara is looking a little different. So Mara did unfortunately break the overall line of support. Very, very strong line of support. You can see just today, almost perfectly using it to, like right now, dancing almost perfectly on this. So another TA 101, always say this, you guys, previous support, this is very strong support, will act as a new strong layer of resistance. So it will be difficult for Mara to break above this from a technical perspective. Again, if Bitcoin starts ripping, if Bitcoin goes on, like it rips its way to 80K, then Mara will very, very likely rip as well and go on to test topside price targets. Again, because I don't feel like that's the case, I do feel like there's more downside ahead for Mara. My downside price target for Mara as well is going to be around $27. Maybe it comes even a little lower, to be honest. Worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario is going to be this high right here, in my opinion. Again, I don't think this is likely. That would take us to about 14 bucks, a $14 Marathon Digital, which is very, very low. But again, that's the initial high of this rally. I wouldn't be completely surprised. I would definitely be surprised, not completely surprised, but I'd also be super stoked if we come down to like a $15 Mara. If Mara reaches 15 bucks, even 20 bucks, anywhere in here, I'm probably going to start accumulating Mara. So again, I do think there's more downside ahead. This line right here that was once very strong support is going to act as strong resistance, so keep a close eye on that. If you guys are trading Mara, best case scenario, if we do break above that, we will come up to test the line of resistance on the current downtrend using these two touch points right here. Say we pop by the end of the month, maybe come up and test this. That would take us to like 43 bucks, which is a pretty significant price gain from a percentage basis. But that's kind of best case scenario if Bitcoin continues to go sideways. Again, unless Bitcoin rips to 80K, I don't think it's very likely that Mara will break back above this line of resistance, unfortunately. Okay, so that's Mara. CWRK looking very, very bullish. So CWRK is currently dancing directly, or has pretty much perfectly tested the overall line of support on the line of support, a very strong line of support on the overall uptrend, and touch point right here. And this is just a very clean looking chart, you guys. again, it's always possible that we break down. Even if we come to test the initial high of this rally around like $1, that would still technically be a higher low on the overall uptrend right here, and I would still think there's more upside ahead even if we come down to $1. So right now we're at $1.50. If we do come down to $1, obviously that will be pretty brutal. But again, because Ether is looking good and CWRK is, I personally would batch it. I mean, it's categorically batched with more blockchain technology altcoin plays. It would make sense that CWRK outperforms Bitcoin miners. Okay, so again, CWRK dancing perfectly on the overall line of support. I do think that it's only likely that we will ultimately come up to test the top side of this massive, beautiful megaphone channel. And best case scenario for that, May 20th, right here, just at the end of this line, May 21st, would take us to just under a $5 CWRK. So $4.85 on May 20th. Say we hit it by the end of the month. If we rip up, I don't think this is likely, but best case scenario, we rip up, that would take us to about $4.30. Okay. So again, it's all dependent on when this line of resistance is hit. CWRK is currently sitting at a market cap of only $77 million. So it takes very, very little capital inflow to appreciate the individual share price. We're seeing volume come back. Love to see that. And CWRK, again, just from a trader's perspective, trading off technicals and fundamentals, CWRK looks like a very, very appealing trade right now. I personally just bought more CWRK today. Again, shout out to the newsletter portfolio group, the Discord. But if we do come down to $1, I'll tell you guys right now, I'm definitely picking up a massive, massive bag of CWRK. Okay, so speaking of massive bags, let's close out with ALYI. I guess we're going to talk about silver quickly, but alternate systems, again, bouncing nicely today, falling off an absolute cliff over the past couple of weeks. Hate to see it, but that's the game sometimes, you guys. That's okay. Like if you have fundamental conviction around something, like I have for ALYI, like I had for Bitcoin, RIOT, Mara, like a year ago, then the down days suck, especially because personally so much of my net worth is tied into ALYI, as many of you guys know. Down days, my net worth is getting absolutely smoked, but again, more krill for the whales, as we've been saying. So again, more food for us, more room for accumulation. If you're bullish on something, like, as you guys know, my overall price target for ALYI is $10. My rationale behind that, we're currently sitting at 4 cents. So you're looking at like a 200x if we get to $10, over a 200x at this point. So the reason for that, ALYI has a market cap of $5 million. They are trying to be like the Harley Davidson, the Uber of electric motorcycles in Africa. I'm still working on that elevator pitch, but again, they're trying to capitalize on the motorcycle market in emerging markets, specifically Africa right now, but they'll probably branch out beyond Africa. They are trying to do like the Uber of motorcycles in Africa, so they're trying to do that ride-sharing thing in Africa as well. Their vision is of the best I've ever seen. It's so unique. It's so brilliant. They are making progress. They have the physical bikes. They have orders. Everything is going in line. Everything, like, stars are aligning for ALYI, and it sucks people got scared. Again, this dropped so fast that, unfortunately, some individuals did get scared out of their positions. It's so easy for this stock to drop like a rock, but also rocket up because the market cap is so small. Again, the smaller the market cap, the less capital inflow or outflow it takes to appreciate or depreciate the individual share price. So again, things can drop just as fast as they can climb, but the beauty of a market cap like this, again, if we can get to $1 billion, a $1 billion market cap, which is still tiny in the grand scheme of things. Again, Nikola pretty much had equally as much progress fundamentally as ALYI did, maybe even less, and definitely a less unique vision. They got to a $20 billion market cap, if you guys remember that. So again, ALYI getting to a $1 billion market cap, again, may take some time, but that would take us to a $10 share price for ALYI, and that's when I'll start dropping. That's not when I'm going to start dropping my bag. I mean, if we get to $5, I may start taking a little bit of profits, but I'm holding the far majority of my entire position until we hit $10. And if we go to 0, which is very unlikely, I'm more likely to go to 0 than sell anything before at least $1. Okay, so bare minimum price target right here is $1. I'll talk to you guys about like the lines I'm seeing right here. So at the very least, I do think ALYI will bounce up to about 6.5 cents to test the line of resistance on the current short-term downtrend. Again, very strong line of support right here. Have tested it multiple times. It makes sense to me that we would come up to test the line of resistance on the current downtrend, which again would take us to 6.5 cents. If we can break 7 cents over the coming days, then I think it's very, very likely that we're back to the races, that will at least come up to test the previous line of support on this ascending channel. If we break through that, test the top side, break through that, test this line of resistance that has acted as a significant line of resistance and support. So again, a lot of these we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but the technicals really don't matter to me. If one whale comes in, if one person who with a lot of capital allocate comes into this, then that could, again, Like, it's so $5 million is nothing. That's nothing, you guys. So there's so much potential here just from a market cap, just from a pure just pure play trading perspective. There's so much raw power, raw potential here that this is such an exciting trade to me. And yeah, I mean, I've talked so much about this stock before. You guys know the drill here. But super excited. Again, I cannot imagine more downsides ahead. But if we do see more downside, I'm just gonna pick up more shares and become a bigger and bigger, strong, big growing strong whale. Okay, so let's close it out with silver. Again, silver looking beautiful right now. So silver did break out of this bull flag that we've been eyeballing. Again, bear flag on Bitcoin, bull flag on good old silver. So silver finally seeing its time to shine. Been waiting for this. Let's hope this rally keeps up. We have been juked out by silver in the past, but let's hope silver looks good. So we will talk about short term here. Again, I'll talk more about my long-term price predictions for both gold and silver on Friday. But right now, silver perfectly breaking out of this bull flag. Pretty textbook bull flag right here. Love to see this breaking out. You can see just a straight up ripping up, and I think it's very likely that ultimately silver does come up to test this this just general trend line that has acted as both resistance and support in the past. This line is definitely in play. You're kind of seeing an inverse head and shoulders playing out right here. Again, shoulder, head. It's likely to me that we'll probably see this shoulder play out too, which would bring us to at least like 28 bucks. But if we do happen to test this very strong trend line, just say May 3rd at the beginning of May, that would take us to just about $29, okay? So if we can break $29, if we break $30 over the coming weeks, then I think we're back off to the races, and that's when, again, when those longer term price predictions come into play, price targets come into play, and we will cover those in a couple days, okay? So that is where we will call it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, please let me know down below what plays in here are you bullish on. If you're not bullish on crypto right now, there's always a bull market somewhere. So what is your bull market? What are you bullish on personally? How are you trading this? Again, always love learning from you guys. Always love talking shop. So I'll see you downstairs in the comments. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.